Hey everyone, it's Norma with Orange Lingerie, and thanks for joining me for today's tutorial. Today I want to show you my favorite way to mark your sewing project. Now normally when we think about marking a sewing project, we're thinking about things like marking major construction points and notching our project, and those things are all very important. But what I want to talk to you about today is really next level marking. What I mean is marking your project so that it's very clear at a glance how all the pattern pieces fit together. This is going to save you a lot of time at the sewing machine because it's going to be very obvious which pieces join together and how. You won't need to continually retrieve your paper pattern pieces and compare it to the fabric that you've cut out to figure out how to sew them together. So let's get started and I'll show you exactly what I mean. First, grab your sewing pattern. We are going to lay out the pattern pieces showing how they will be joined together when sewing. For pattern orientation, for our patterns, the top of the pattern piece is above the text and the bottom of the pattern piece is below the text. We also include a handy pattern map in each of our patterns to help guide you and show you how the pieces fit together. So let's just get this laid out, how the pieces will be sewn together. Now with our pattern laid out correctly, we are going to color code the pattern construction by adding dots to the major construction points of the pattern. I like to use 1/4 inch size adhesive dots because I'm typically working with very small pattern pieces. I'm going to start by marking the most important construction points, which are how this cup fits together. Now you don't need to add all of these dots to the pattern joins, you only need those pieces where you need the most clarity. When I'm working with students, I find that those blue and purple dots that I just attached are the most important. Those are some of the most confusing points. Now if you want to mark the other side of the pattern, you can either print the pattern again or mark the other side of the pattern you have already printed. I find that since I put the dots on the wrong side of the fabric, I don't need to distinguish between right and left side. Now that I have my pattern marked, I am just going to copy that same color coding on my cut out fabric pieces. I'm going to start with the most important points here. And oh, by the way, before you start sticking anything onto your fabric pieces, please test it. You want to be sure that it's not going to mar the surface. Also, when putting on the adhesive dots, you want to make sure you're not in any seam line. That's why I am measuring to be sure I am at least 1/4 inch away. I do like to keep these dots on the fabric while I'm sewing. For example, when I sew that cup together, I'm going to keep the blue dots all on until I have all of those pieces joined, and then I'll remove them. Now, once again, you don't need to put on all of the color dots. Just put on the color dots where you are going to need assistance in understanding how the pieces fit together when you're at the sewing machine. I'm just going to finish marking this side of the bra, but don't forget you also have to mark the other side of the bra or the other pattern pieces that you've cut out. Be sure to continue putting the dots on the wrong side of the fabric, and if you want to distinguish right from left, you can use a different color scheme for the other side. Now I'm at the sewing machine and I don't have the benefit of the pattern to compare my fabric pieces to, but you can already see it's pretty clear how these are going to fit together. You can see those blue dots show me how the cup will be sewn together. So starting with the lower cup, I will just put them together at the notches, align the dots, and then I can get sewing. And now I've got my lower cup all constructed and top stitched, and I'm ready to join it to the upper cup. Now luckily I've got those 2 blue dots on the back to show me how this is going to fit together. There's my blue dot on the upper cup and my blue dots on the lower cup, and I'm just going to sew that together. And now you can see I have my completed cup, and if we look on the inside, you can see all of my blue dots are aligned. I can now take those dots off and carry on with construction. And so there you have it. That is my favorite way to mark a sewing project. It just makes it so much easier for me to understand at a glance while I'm sewing how all the pieces fit together. And it really leads to more accurate and faster sewing. That means I can sew even more projects up, which I really like. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to be sure not to miss a single one of our tutorials, be sure to subscribe to our channel as well. Thank you so much, and until next time.